Kent Hughes has done it again. The Habs have signed two of their best young defensemen, and the truth behind these contracts is amazing when you look into what it means for Montreal moving forward, salary cap wise, with Arber, Xhekaj, and Justin Barron now signed. But at the same time, Jesse, it means there's a lot of decisions for Coach Marty St. Louis to make on the defensive front. We got to get into all of this and what it means for the Habs' monetary situation, plus a little note on one of Laval's top stars leaving the team. All that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. But before we get into it, I wanted to first thank the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. If there's one thing the Montreal Canadiens are stacked up on for the future, it is defense. And if you want to add an extra level of defense to your browsing, you need to try NordVPN, the fastest VPN out there today.
A VPN, or a virtual private network, encrypts your IP address so that when you're on a public network, that you can create your own private network within that, so you can enjoy the fun stuff on the internet like hockey.
Do you want to watch Habs Digest or a Habs game on the go securely and without an interruption? NordVPN has your back, and if you use code HABS, go to nordvpn.com/Habs, you get an exclusive discount to start browsing online with your VPN today.
But it's not just about speed, as David Savard has showed us time after time. NordVPN has you covered with their Threat Protection Pro. Think of it as your own personal Arber Xhekaj for your computer. Just as he protects the front of the net, we are keeping your system completely safe so you can really have fun while you're surfing the web.
So why wait? Elevate your game just like the Habs with NordVPN today. And if you go to nordvpn.com/Habs, you get an exclusive discount code, and it's 30 days money back guarantee, 24/7 support. They have other features like kill switch to kill your internet connection if your VPN ever drops unexpectedly, and it can be used on any device. So if you never wanted to miss an episode of Habs Digest, you never want to miss another Slafkovsky goal, Suzuki assist, Montembeault save, anything like that, go to nordvpn.com/Habs today and get your discount. Thank you very much to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. All right, Jesse, let's move into the first topic here. We got to talk first about Philippe Maillet, and if you've watched a lot of Laval Rocket games, you'll know Maillet is a pretty darn good player, but a recent report showed that he has officially left the team. The Swiss Hockey News has tweeted that HCAP extends the contract of Jake Virtanen and Yuck, and they signed Philippe Maillet. Now, Jesse, Philippe Maillet, he's a guy that I feel like gets slept on. This is a dude that put up 53 points in 66 games in the KHL, then 53 and 67 for Laval this past year. I don't have a ton to say about Philippe Maillet, but, it kind of hurts. Pascal Vincent coming in with a team, a new team, and one of his best players leaves immediately. I know it's nothing personal. I'm sure he got a good contract over there, but still sucks to see some depth, even some high-end talent in Laval leave.
Yeah, definitely. At 31 years of age, just really doing what's best for his career at this point. But if we're looking at his stats, we're all like, just a total beast in the AHL, right? Could never really get that footing in the NHL. So he's just doing what's best for him right now. Obviously, one of the top contributors in Laval. So it definitely hurts because we need more of that offense, right? But we know those young guys are coming up. It's going to open up those spots, not just with Montreal, but with the Laval Rocket, right? We got lots of guys gunning. So definitely tons of candidates for that. And we definitely wish Philippe Maillet all the best on his next adventure.
100%. Yeah, there's not a ton to say about this, but sucks to see him go. I got to see him play live when I went to a Laval Rocket game, and he impressed me. He was out there. He was doing some good stuff. So best of luck to him over in the Swiss League, Reinbacher's former league. And yeah, we'll hopefully be tracking some of his progress. But we're going to quickly move into the good stuff. The good stuff starts with Justin Barron. Now, stick around later. We're going to dive into the salary cap for Montreal, and oh my gosh, unbelievable work there. But Jesse, we're going to talk first about Barron. Now, he was the second signing of the day for Montreal. Of course, Xhekaj was first, but we heard about, we're going to talk about Barron first here. They signed him to a 2-year deal, 1.15 per season. Honestly, Jesse, I think this is a fantastic deal. I think Justin Barron, for what he produced this year, I think has been quite good. I mean, 13 points in 48 games, 7 goals, 6 assists. Yes, he was sent down for his defense, but in his interview, he was very, very much aware of where his lapses lie, and he said, hey, my big goal for this season is to make the big club and prove myself as a full-time NHLer, and Montreal has a ton of guys, Jesse, that are going to be vying for those final spots, but what do you think about this contract? To me, this is incredibly low risk. Now, I know they're probably not going to send Barron down because he's not waiver exempt anymore. They're going to do something similar they did with Primeau, so he's going to need to prove himself, but low risk, and I think, honestly, for the production you're getting from him offensively, absolutely worth it.
Yeah, this is a prove it type of deal for a 21-year-old who you have to feel there's a lot of good hockey there, right? Like Justin Barron, I'm curious to where he'll be around that 25, 27, age range, right? When he really hits his prime. This could be a player that does put up some solid offensive numbers in the NHL. That being said, he's got his work cut out from right now. It begins in Montreal because there is tons of competition, right? He was asked some hard hitting questions. They were saying like, there's a lot of guys coming in. There's Reinbacher. There's Maillet. Just on the right side of that play, that offensive game, let alone Hudson, right? Like, what are you going to do to really kind of separate yourself? And again, him just noticing, okay, I need to be harder to play against. I need to work on my defensive game while still kind of bringing that offensive part. Like just the fact that he could really acknowledge this and really know this. And he's looking forward to camp. He views it as healthy competition. He says, the future of this team, on defense and elsewhere, it's looking bright. So really wants to be here. And I think this 2 years is going to give us this opportunity to really see where we stand with this player, because you have to feel like there still is more than what we're seeing.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like, he does feel a need for Montreal, and while there are other defensemen that are probably better suited to the lineup than him, other than David Savard, he is currently the only right-handed defenseman that is in the NHL for Montreal. Yes, you have Reinbacher on the way. Yes, you have Logan Maillet on the way, but when you have Justin Barron, you have him right now. Kovacevic is gone, and if you need another right-hand D, you see, like, you can't be playing Harris on right D or Guhle on right D every single night. Maybe you can, actually, but still, Barron has shown that NHL pedigree, and he knows where his weaknesses lie, and I think this is going to be a time where he has to prove it this year, Jesse, and I think if he doesn't prove it this year, he's gone, because Montreal could still look to move him during the season. I think that's fairly possible, but again, like, there's so much backlog of defensemen, and if he can't show that defensive prowess that we'd like to see from him right now, people are going to jump him in the lineup. And we saw the Habs with Primeau. They tend to keep guys who, they'd rather not lose a guy for nothing, basically, to put it that way, right? So if he can't show it, his days are numbered. We said this at the end of last season, we said into this season, but hey, best of luck to him. Really, really hope he shows out this season, and but he's going to have some competition, like I said, Jesse, and one of those guys is our boy, the Sheriff. And it is time for Arber to come back. And what a steal of a contract for him as well, Jesse. Under $1.5 million. There was projections for him to get, or northwards at 2 by some people. Most people around $2 million per year. But no, the Habs got him in. Where is it? There. Well, I just got the picture of him. But they got him in at, I believe it was 1.3. Actually, now that I don't see him, I'm pretty sure it was 1.3. Our boy Arber, Xhekaj, Jesse. This is a guy who also had some phenomenal stats this past season. He had 10 points in 44 games, not to mention the hits that I don't even think are... it says down there, 125 hits, blocked 49 shots, an expected plus-minus of 1.9, 6'4". There are so many good things about Jack. And before I get into the quote that he had, Jesse, I just wanted to revel in this picture, and I also wanted to revel in how amazing he is going to be for that amount of money.
The Sheriff is back in the saddle, and talk about the Habs taking team-friendly deals without even saying that they're taking team-friendly deals. This is how selfless that they are, right? But like Arber Xhekaj brings so much to this team and can, in his own words, he said, like, have such an important role just in the NHL for what he brings, being able to stand up, for his teammates while still being able to have the puck on his stick, right? So this is why he is so valuable for this team. It's all the intangibles, but we know that, 6'4", 240-pound frame, that helps so much. But Josh, like this past year was just beautiful to watch, right? Because we watched the evolution of Arber Xhekaj. We love this player, but we still didn't know, okay, what are we going to get? What is he going to turn into? And all we saw as the season went on, he just got more experience, more discipline, playing more of a well-rounded game where he could just kind of be relied on every night just to be consistent and go and do his job, right? Because that's the big thing with just cutting out on some of the penalties. But he addressed it during the season. And he said, as I get more experience and I mature in the NHL, I'm able to read each game a little bit better. The vibe, okay, when's the time to go in, take care, protect my teammates, and when's the time to kind of back off a little bit, right? So as he kind of grows and gains that experience, I think just that combination of these different skills, he's going to be a really unique player, and I expect to see him around for much longer than these 2 years. Just a very, very important start here.
Well, you're very right, and you made a great point there. Like when we see him play, like every single game, I mean, like, we saw him get better every single game. I mean, maybe not as big jumps as Slaf did, but, like, by the end of the season, like, we're seeing Xhekaj taking pucks end to end. We're like, where the heck did this come from? Like, he's improving so much, and for that money, it's amazing. But, Jesse, there was also a quote from his interview I wanted to show to everyone that was, just phenomenal. He said, "We're a very close team inside the room. We love to play for each other. We're on the right path here. We're trying really hard to get where we need to go. Our goal is nothing less than to make the playoffs." And I mean, obviously, that's the answer they're going to give. Obviously, every player wants to make the playoffs. But before we move into the salary cap stuff, Jesse, I just wanted to say how awesome it is. Again, like you said, these team-friendly deals, this team culture, for them to be genuinely striving for the playoffs, they've put themselves in a great position to at least make a push.
Absolutely, that's it. And when asked about his spot on the roster next year, he said, my whole mentality is just to earn my spot every single night. And that's the type of attitude you have. You're getting this 2-year contract, you're getting rewarded, but the work's not done. He knows that, so he's ready to really put it in. So really excited just to see, his state of mind going into this next year.
And there's a ton of flexibility too this year as we show the salary cap. Jesse, with everyone signed, the only thing we're kind of waiting on is a Guhle extension, but he's still under contract for the season. That doesn't need to be done yet. That could be done at any point. $5.5 million. This includes Price's contract not being on LTIR. Montreal has some of the most cap space in the entire NHL now. $5.45 million. At the trade deadline, this is worth somewhere between, I didn't do the exact calculation, but somewhere between like $25 million worth of AAV in terms of contracts. So like, they could bring in 4 different guys on $5 million AAV contracts because at the trade deadline, those contracts, that salary cap space accrues. So Montreal's going to have so much flexibility to take on whether expiring contracts or maybe assets that other teams are looking to dump that Montreal can take on for maybe a year or two. Next year's the last year of Price's deal too, so that's coming to an end. And then we also got, this also includes Anderson and Gallagher and Dvorak's contracts too. Montreal is in, I would say, the best position in the NHL, purely talent and financially, because everything put together, Jesse, like we said before the show, there was literally nothing that I don't like about how Montreal has built out this team.
And both those things, the roster and also the finances, they kind of need to line up to really take your team to the next level here. So it's just absolutely so amazing to see, the future that this team really has, right? So this is really opening up just the opportunities for Kent Hughes to really, kind of mold this team as he really sees fit. But it's really the result of just having such a young team, right? So many people that just within that 24 to kind of 20 sort of range, right? Just either on ELCs, coming off of them, right? So not only does it allow us to kind of build for the future and have this young group, right? But obviously this financial flexibility, right? So I see nothing but just amazing positive things for this Hab team in the very near future now.
We're so thrilled. It's been an amazing ride. Let us know your thoughts on all the stuff that we discussed in this episode, especially the salary cap stuff, because to me, that's the big interesting stuff down below. We're thrilled to have Arber. We're thrilled to have Justin Barron. And again, one more thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this wonderful video. That'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you want to check out NordVPN, there'll be a link in the pinned comment and in the description down below. And also, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate your support every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.